Well, joining me now, Congressman Pete Sessions, the Republican from Texas. Congressman, good to have you with us on Newsmax. So, does that sound like a good starting point? 65% slash in the staffing there at EPA.
Well, I have great confidence not only in Lee Zeldin, but in his particular case, his ability to see through not just excessive government employment, but really the things that are in the best interest of this country. We have had, as members of Congress for a long period of time, issues and ideas about not just the EPA, but their extraordinary power that they have over not just agricultural areas, but really development that would be in the best interest of this country. The laws that they would choose to harden onto people, whether it's water, whether it's waste, has been a real problem. And I'm glad Lee Zeldin can cut through this, find out what needs to stay, what needs to go, and let's serve the American people.
By the way, Congressman, we're hearing from the Ag Department now that illegals who have been apparently accessing or getting access to food stamps and other services will no longer be allowed to get those items. Is that a good move, cutting off illegals from this government assistance?
Very much a part of what the president has spoken about is people who've come to this country illegally. People who've come to this country that take the things which are intended under law for people who are American citizens and that which it was intended for is part of what the Secretary of Agriculture needs to make sure that she looks at. In looking at this, the rules and regulations are skewed for anybody that wants to show up in line. And I believe that the American public should expect that the federal government will be very careful about who not only it gives food to, but the money that's spent on behalf of the American people. Very, very proud of our new Agriculture Secretary.
You know, Congressman, Texas, more than probably any other state, has been impacted by the illegal alien invasion. Are you satisfied with what the border czar is up to, Tom Homan? And are you getting any intel on maybe how many illegals have been deported so far?
Tom Homan was up on the Hill today and briefed the Border Council, the border members, about not only what his progress is, but what his ideas are. And I will tell you that Tom Homan has very specific marching orders, and I believe that what will happen is that you will quickly see not only the numbers, which need to be demonstrated, but President Barack Obama led the way to take out and deport 3 million people. Well, Tom Homan has the job that I believe starts with criminal aliens, criminals who are sitting in jail, and those who have expedited orders for removal. And I believe that when Tom successfully figures out exactly where these are, how they want to gather together, he will not only have those numbers, but the American people will have safer streets. Cities will have the opportunity to know, like New York City, where they went a whole week without having a murder. The American citizenry wants their children to be safe. They want their wives to be safe and families, and that's part of Tom Homan's job. And he has that right and responsibility with people who are in this country illegally to take them out of the American public.
Congressman, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Elon Musk. He's getting a lot of blowback for showing up at today's cabinet meeting. He was not sitting at the table. You know what I find interesting, though, is that the legacy media, they had no objections when the former First Lady, Jill Biden, actually oversaw the president's cabinet. I don't recall that she was elected to anything.
Well, in fact, we still count on, in the Republican Party, entrepreneurship. We count on in people who have great view and vision about not just organizations, but missions and strategies. The United States government needs to come back to work. The president is still struggling with this. Well, so is Chase Bank, so is Intel Computer, and so is Apple. We need to get the American people back to work, and if we're going to right-size this government where decisions are going to be made about how the government's going to perform itself, we need people back at work. Elon Musk understands that we're going to use technology if these workers don't produce themselves.
Well said. And again, it's, our sympathies are to anybody who's losing a job, but the reality is we've got to get our financial house in order up in Washington. Congressman Pete Sessions, thank you again, sir.
You bet.